Hello everybody, my name is Niku and welcome to the Trading Setup channel where we explore the world of trading. Emotions break trading faster than any mistaken analysis. Fear forces early exits, excitement pushes entries without a plan, and doubt paralyzes you at the most critical moment. This video is about a different approach, a strategy designed from the start not to fight emotions but to bypass them. If you watch until the end, you'll gain a calm, practical framework suitable even for those who consider themselves too emotional for the market. And by the way, let me remind you, I created a free resource that concentrates my experience. There you'll find real setups and their results, indicator settings I've pinned for your convenience, and even martingale system guides so you can learn to calculate the risks properly and stay in control of your trades. It's all available to everyone, but I update the pinned posts often, so grab it while it's still there. The link is in the description under this video, and don't forget about the promo code that gives you a bonus on your deposit. It's already gathered people who truly want to grow in trading. Now let's get to that strategy. Let's get our platform set up so we can start trading. Today we're going to combine two indicators. These are very fairly common indicators, and it's going to be the stochastic oscillator, and we're going to add the vortex. We will be trading off a 1 minute chart, so make sure you set your candle time frame to 1 minute, and we're going to be doing 2 minute expiries. We're going to make some changes to the indicator settings. We're going to set the K period for the stochastic to 7. We're going to leave the rest as it is. And then we're going to also change the vortex value, period value to 7 as well. And that's what we're going to do here. Okay, so now we can see that we've got a very fast stochastic and a very fast ADS vortex on our chart. What we're going to do is we're going to look for crossovers. Bullish and bearish crossovers on the vortex, and then we're going to see if this coincides with the stochastic moving into the oversold or overbought zone, depending on which crossover we have. So if we have a bearish crossover on the vortex, as we have here, we can see that the stochastic at the same time is started moving into the oversold zone. That's where we're going to take a sell trade. And then when we have a bullish crossover, we're going to see if it coincides with the stochastic moving into the overbought zone, and we're simply going to go with a buy trade when this happens. Very simple. It will require some patience, but that's it. So we're going to look for trades based on this, and yeah, I think it's time. Let's move to trading. Okay, now that we know what our strategy entails, we're just going to start flipping through the chart and look for some entries. We missed a beautiful entry right now, actually. Doesn't matter. We're just going to flip through some assets and see if we can find an asset where the vortex is either busy making a crossover or about to make a crossover. And then once we find an asset that meets that demand, then we'll look at the stochastic behavior. Looks like we might get an entry here. Vortex is busy making a crossover here. Stochastic though has not yet reached oversold levels, but I suspect if this candle closes as it's looking right now, we should see the stochastic pop into the oversold zone. And when this does happen, we're just simply going to take a trade and go with it. We're going to have to wait for the candle to close though, because quite often this will happen. So if I started taking positions here because this candle was such a big red candle, and I was assured that price will continue downwards, I would have been stressing now. I would have been in a bad position, because this does happen. You will see a massive red candle, and that candle ends up closing that candle ends up closing as a big green candle, or you see a big green candle and it ends up closing red, and totally voids your entry conditions for your strategy. We do not want to predict what we think will happen. We're just going to wait for our indicators to tell us this is happening and simply go with it. Okay, so I might have jumped the gun here a little bit. This will be my confirmation candle actually. So we're going to see what happens. We're going to let this timer run, but as you can see, I took this traded candle too early because my stochastic has not If this candle closes green, it's going to pull the stochastic out of the overbought zone. I did mess up here a little bit. There we go. And this is exactly what I was just saying. This simply proves my point of what I was just saying. I should have waited for this candle to close, because while it's open, this values can still change, and if the values change, it will change the stochastic values as well, and the vortex values. So your indicator values will always keep changing while the candle is open, because the candle doesn't sit still at a certain price, it keeps on moving. And this is exactly the reason why. Although I'm pretty sure this will continue its way downwards. Reason for that is that we've got at this support here that's broken. We have this candle here cleared this support level here as well. And the vortex crossover obviously confirmed this for me as well. So this does have a very decent chance of winning, but it was not 100% in line with my strategy. Is it going to push up in the last few seconds? Let's see. Okay, good trade, but not a good entry. Let's see if we can find another one where we can actually do it properly. We have a vortex crossover happening here, but when I'm looking at this vortex here, we have had a lot of recent crossovers recently. There's two just before this current one. This usually means that price has gone into into a form of a range, and we can clearly see it. If we zoom out a little bit, we can see that price isn't really trending. We've got these ups and downs, and this whole area is kind of like stuck. We've got a small range there, broke out of the range, went into a kind of range there as well. This is not an area where I'm going to be looking for entries with this strategy. Keep that in mind. Be aware of what your asset is doing. Sometimes people zoom in a bit too much and you lose sight of the bigger picture. I like to just be zoomed out so I can have an idea of what price is doing overall as well. But we're going to let's see if we can let's continue going through the list and see if we can pick up another trade or two. So this is a fairly quick strategy. In general, you will usually find a fair amount of entries with the strategy, but keep in mind, as with any other strategy, the market goes through cycles, and your strategy will have times where it's quiet and times where it's giving you a lot of entries. When your strategy enters one of those quiet times, you're not doing something wrong. Strategy isn't broken. What you need to do is apply patience and just simply wait for entries. Just because it's slow doesn't mean it's bad. So you will still find entries even if your strategy goes into a slow period, but you're going to find fewer of them than you usually do. And sometimes you're going to enter a fast period where the market is basically just perfect for your strategy, and you're going to find a lot of entries. That's when you should be taking a lot of entries, not a lot of entries, but still within your strategy, not taking chances, not breaking the rules. Stay within your strategy, but that's the time where you do take the trades. This is true for every single strategy out there, and that's the reason why I do not trade with a single strategy when I'm trading. I'm trading with few strategies because some of them will be quiet and not give me a lot of entries, and during those times there will be one or two of the other ones that is actually giving me a decent amount of entries. So I stay busy throughout the day. But especially if you are new to trading, I really suggest you take the time, learn a strategy, get used to it, trade with a single one, and because this is going to teach you your discipline as well, your discipline and patience if you trade with a single strategy, and it's going to be much less confusing. People very often when they see my charts when I'm trading, people often laugh or make jokes about the amount of indicators that I have on my chart when I'm trading, but those are there because I will use two of them for one strategy, two of them for a different one. It is not a good thing to simply add a ton of indicators on your chart and try to form a strategy from that. But if you're new to trading, it's taken me years to be able to filter the noise and look past all the indicators and be able to spot the different strategies between all the indicators that I do use, all the different strategies that I do use. It's going to take some time for you to get to a spot where you can do that very, very comfortably. We have the crossover here. I'm not trusting this candle. So this is the second candle, and it just, no, it didn't. So we had the crossover on this green candle here. If this candle does not push the stochastic into overbought, I will not have an entry on this asset. We are in a very nice upwards trend. By the looks of it, we will be pushing in, but this candle must push the stochastic into the overbought zone. If it does not, we do not have a trade on our hands, and I'll go to the next asset. So if this doesn't close like this, if it drops before the close, doesn't look like it's going to. There we go. Okay, so we can enter on the close of this candle. This candle did indeed, the second candle did indeed just edged the stochastic over the overbought zone, while we had the vortex crossover on the previous candle. So this is an entry for me. I'm kind of tempted to just double tap it here and cover, because it does look like it's going to give me some kind of issue. Let's do that, and then we'll see what happens. Should push upwards. We should see, because we are in a very, very clear and very decent upwards trend, we should see price start moving in this direction again in any case. But we'll wait and see what happens. We've got just over a minute left. There goes the green. Beautiful green candle. 1 minute left on the first entry, 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the second entries. Let's see what happens. I love seeing green when I'm in buys. We're halfway through this current trade. No, I'm sorry. We're halfway through the last two. The first one has got 30 seconds left on it. Is this going to come back and bite me? Let's see. It's being very stubborn. Want to see some more green, and that's, it looks like that's what we're going to get though. There we go. More green coming in. Exactly what we want to see. First trade about to close. There we go. And second one is almost, the second trades are almost done as well. And we can see all this green popping in, which is awesome. We had a very beautiful crossover. We waited for the stochastic to be pushed into the overbought zone, and we got rewarded for our patience and for not jumping the gun. There we go. Okay, so that's our vortex and stochastic strategy. The reason this works really well is because the stochastic, you have to remember, the stochastic is a momentum indicator at its core. So it shows us momentum. And that's the reason I like using the stochastic entering overbought and entering oversold, because it's showing me that the momentum is picking up. We've got massive momentum, and when something has high momentum, it's difficult to stop. The more momentum it has, the more difficult it becomes to stop. So that's one of the reasons this strategy works really well. But you do need to take your time, wait for good entries. Don't simply take something because, don't take an entry because it looks like it might fire. Wait for the strategy to fire and only then take your entries. Okay, but that's it. It is important to understand one thing. Emotionality is not a weakness, it's a trait. And if you don't suppress it, but account for it when building a strategy, trading becomes much calmer. If you want to see everything live and learn from real examples, I invite you to my private community. There, I share daily setups, show trades live, and break down strategies. Only those who are ready to work and grow gets in. To join, write me personally. The contact is in the description under this video. I handpick every member to keep the quality and atmosphere of real work. At some point, I plan to close entry completely and leave it only as an internal club for those already inside. And then it will be impossible to join. So right now's your chance. And of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new breakdowns and useful videos. And remember, trading is not a game, it's work. I'll see you guys in the next video, and until then, may the pips be with you.